What's up, crew? Yeah, we're going to dual mic this thing. All right. So one of the most important characteristics, I think, of a leader is your ability to create results in your business. And I'm going to be straight with you. When we started getting to leadership rooms like this is a leadership. Kelsey and I very quickly started to realize it wasn't exciting anymore to raise our hand and be like, we did 10 meet and greets. Look at us. And here's the trick for a lot of you. I'm talking to some of you new folks. Your upline, your coaches are going to love you. They're going to cheer you on. They're going to edify you in front of your team for the work that you're doing. But I'm telling you, if you're here this weekend, you are a leader and your responsibility is to create growth in your organization. And if you have gaps in that, you have to attack it. In every stage of our business where we went to the next level, it was us taking the ownership of our ability to create results within our organization. And over time, I think we've complicated this, but it's simple. And this is what we're going to talk you through. This is what we teach our team. This is what we had to do to learn to create results repeatedly and consistently in our business. Okay, there's 4 things. And I'm talking about results and building teams. There's 4 things we focus on, and we learned this from this team. Number 1 is, are you doing enough work? Number 2 is, are you talking to the right people, the quality of people that you're networking with or bringing through a process? Number 3 is, do you have a skill set around evaluating or bringing someone through that process? And number 4 is, do you have a good attitude? So I think even as leaders, sometimes we get in the zone of like, business is hard. Oh, I don't have the width that I want. Oh, I don't have the launches that I want. Oh, it's hard. You come to your coaching and game plan. It's like, I'm doing the work. It's hard. I'm telling you, folks, it's one of those 4 variables. This isn't rocket science. Most of your careers are a lot harder than those 4 things. The question you have to ask yourself is, have you attacked your gaps in those 4 areas? Or are you just doing the work, getting recognized at your local team meeting for being someone who's doing work, and you're not actually working to get results? Okay? So let's just talk through these 4 things. You good with that? In these areas. Number 1, are you doing enough work? This has been in my mind all week. If you listen to the Trevor Baker audio that came out this last week on the app, phenomenal audio. And Trevor said, oftentimes the magic you're looking for is found in the work that you're avoiding. And here's the reality for most of us, and we are guilty of this too. The most uncomfortable work for all of us in this room is our ability to go put a personal into our business. Whether that's shaking a hand, talking to someone online, someone from your own A or B list, that is the most uncomfortable work. So as you build a team, it is way easy to avoid the work that's actually going to be a catalyst for growth for you and sit in your team or get the recognition of like, hey, this is happening in this pocket. This happened in this pocket. You have to get right about the number of people that you are personally bringing through a process. When Kelsey and I were sick of sitting at Platinum and said, we want to go Ruby, we want to get ready for an Emerald business, the biggest catalyst to our growth is we said, we have to own this. We got to go create results outside of our current team. And that's what spurred our growth into a Ruby business. Can I add to that?
Sure. Yeah, I think we have several new 3-6 qualifiers here, and there's some game plans that we had right after they went 3-6, and it's exciting. Congrats to all of you guys who hustled it out, earned qualifying 3-6. But I hope you don't want to settle here. Right? There's a lot of 3-6s. We always wanted to continue to work to be elite. If you're 3-6, moving on to 6-15, there's far less 6-15. So we crave to be a part of that. And what we talked about is one of the biggest gaps for people that get caught and stuck at 3-6 for too long is they spend so much time focused on their team. And yes, the whole business is about building teams, helping them rise up, challenging, helping them live up to their potential. But they're only able to do that when you're continuing to do the creative work of your business, which is doing enough work, right? Having enough process appointments, launching. So the biggest gap from 3-6 and 6-15 is those people who are 6-15 took it seriously to put on some more personals. You will always have plenty of things that you can do within your team. I got to help this person update their Ditto. It's probably time for another budget. Got to help them with this job thing. No, what you actually need to do first, though, is your personal activity. What we see, if you feel like, man, my schedule is just packed, I don't know, how do people put on legs, whatever it is, it's the fact that you're actually prioritizing your work ethic in the wrong order. Is it that's getting the earliest time, your prime time, your 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever time slots because you got to get the budget in or whatnot? Or is it even your personal, you're running those process appointments at that time? Now, that time is religious for Michael and I, that we are running our personal appointments at that time, because that is the highest priority, because the biggest way to build our team's belief, even at this point, is us putting in more personals. So check your calendar and where you're organizing your time, obviously giving yourself space for networking, whatever that looks like, but do not, I mean, check with your coach, but they probably won't recommend packing your calendar with all stuff for your team that's stealing from your time for your personal momentum.
Yeah. So some of you in this room, it's a work ethic thing. Fix it. Get on that. Get serious about the work ethic. Some of you, it's maybe the quality of people you're bringing through a process. And we heard this from day one. We heard this. Do 10 meet and greets a month at your ambition level or above. And this is natural. Most of us, when we start networking, confidence isn't high. So the people we're networking with are not at our ambition level. And again, you can get the kudos for the number of things you've done, or oh, look at me, coach, I'm doing a lot of work. Or you can get real with yourself on the last 10 people I brought through a process. Are they at my ambition level and above? And if they're not, how do I start to fix that? How do I get outside my comfort zone to find higher quality people who are ready to run, who are ambitious, not the people who are just like, yeah, sure, I was... some extra money sounds good. And you're like, great, let me show you the Amway business model. Let me show you all this stuff. And you get excited about it and then tell your coach. No, this is like, hey, can you find quality? That's what we always look for.
Yeah, it's like, when's the last time you ran a personal process appointment that you were a little sweaty?
Oh, it's so healthy. It's so
right.
Good.
Or that, I mean, I know there's been some people we brought through the process and Michael's like, I should probably call Craig on this person because they're pretty sharp. And it's like, yes, we should be doing that more often. You should have to call your coach more and say, hey, how do I actually communicate this at the next level? Sometimes when you've got really ambitious individuals and they've performed in their careers, you're speaking too basic to them because you're used to, running a process appointment for the college student or the person who's open to work, right? Looking for a job. Do not, right? You want the people who are hustlers and they have big goals, and you are the people who are going to bring in and continue to raise up the caliber of your entire team. If you're frustrated with certain things in your team, all those pain points are things that you can solve by elevating the caliber of your business team through your personals.
Right. Okay. Skill set. We could go a long time on this. We're going to hit 3 points that I see as maybe gaps, especially if you're a 3-6 in this room. If you're not creating consistent results, 3 things as you're bringing people through a process to focus on. Number 1, do you know what that person wants? Right? It is so crucial when we bring people through the process. I have to know their end game. I have to know what they actually want out of life. Because if you are trying to get someone to do something that they don't want to do, or not even that motivated for it, you are going to be frustrated. And we've all got people through a process who said, yeah, the extra cash is good. I'm looking for a side venture, like whatever. But you're like, cool, great. Let me show you what I'm doing. That is not what you want to do. You want to get very good at understanding. Can you get off that call or phone or in the coffee shop with that person, call your coach and be like, man, I met this human being and I really got into where they're looking to go in 5 to 10 years, what they really wanted out of life. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, you have to be masterful at telling your story. Masterful, meaning it evokes emotion. People can resonate with it. People go, wow, I want to go where that person is going. And if you tell your story, just like blah, 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 and people are looking at you like whatever, I'm telling you, if you don't get a reaction after someone tells your story, that people lean in and people go, wow, tell me more. You got to work on that. That's the best way I can identify it. What does someone want? Are they resonating with what I'm putting out there?
The second thing is be with people. How many people, raise your hand, if you got a bachelor's degree, you got a master's degree, probably a couple master's degree, more, I think. Okay, yeah. Majority of people in this room, you're highly educated. One of your biggest challenges will be you are so academic that all of you can articulate some information. But the whole purpose of the process is not to regurgitate information. It is actually to build a relationship with people. So like Michael said, to start to pull out of them what they really want out of their life. And sometimes the shift is like you're a performer, you're doing all these process appointments and things like that, and you're running and gunning and appointment after appointment, but you're not giving yourself space to actually be with people. If you tend to err more on the side of the choleric by nature or whatnot, that was me. I'm like, appointment. I didn't give myself like 5 minutes to even think about a person beforehand and go, you know what, last time they mentioned whatever, their cousin was getting married. Maybe I should follow up and ask them about how that went. right? Or anything even not non-business related whatsoever. I spent quite a bit of time talking with someone recently about her brother who's like chronically ill. How many people do you think she's gotten to tell that story to of late? You think she is more leaning into that relationship because she recognizes that I'm a real person, right? So it's if anyone in this room is still using notes for any of their process appointment, today is the day you stop. You all know the information. You all can regurgitate the information. But if you don't actually ditch the notes and spend time with people and work to build a relationship, you're going to miss out on so many quality people who are hungry. How many people are hungry for a real relationship? Most of their relationships are someone on social media that they follow or an old friend that they haven't been in touch with for a long time, but they're still on their speed dial. They're looking for someone who's willing to sit and listen to them, but you're so busy trying to shove down as much information in your 45-minute time slot that you have set aside, you're missing out on being that person for people.
Okay, last thing. It's about how well you can and clearly you can communicate and effectively you can communicate. Okay, and there's two parts of this. It's what you're communicating. And here's my challenge for some of you in the room. Some of you are probably regurgitating the same facts about Amway legacy leadership, this environment, why we do what we do that your upline did. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you are never going to master your craft until you can get it in your head on why do we do what we do? Why do we use the platforms and systems we do? And I understand it. When's the last time you've looked up an Amway, entrepreneurship report or impact report and actually looked at it yourself and you said, that's a cool fact. I'm going to talk about that. Maybe your coach doesn't, but can you, because it makes sense to you and you understand it? Same thing. You don't have to regurgitate what your coach says all the time. It's fine to start there. But you will never master craft until it's an original thought. And you can understand the network marketing industry. You can understand the direct sales industry. You are a leader, you are a business owner, you're an entrepreneur. If you don't understand that and you can explain it through your experience and your lens, I don't think you'll ever master your craft. You might be able to get some result, but this is where Kelsey and I, we started to internalize it all, the content. But the more important thing is how you deliver. Some of you talk way too slow. And people are so bored and they will not get any of the great content you have. Some of you talk way too fast and you talk at the same pitch and the same rate the whole time and you're talking so fast that people they forgot what you said or they were still on the first thing you said. They didn't. And then you get frustrated when they leave the process and you cry to your coach. And they're like, well, I talked about this. They didn't hear you. They weren't inspired to hear you. So how you communicate, can you spend 10, 15 minutes on changing it next time you do a process appointment? Can you slow down? Can you speed up? Can you have more inflection? Can you be excited? It's so important. If you watch any leader, they have the ability to clearly and beautifully articulate a message. And when you get good at that, now it's just about finding the right folks. But if you can't clearly articulate, you might be missing a lot of good people because the message just isn't connecting. It isn't getting there. And I think if you are in a network building business, wouldn't you think building a skill set of communication is a really valuable thing? If you're not spending time as a leader on that, and we can all get better. I have so many things I can work on and I focus on and I can and work on. And again, I have bad habits that I slip into when I'm lazy. It was a meet and greet last week that I was like, if I recorded that meet and greet and sent it to my team, I'd be embarrassed because Michael communicated terribly. But when you are on your A game, you have to have the ability to get in that mode and communicate clearly. Okay, so work on your skills.
Yeah, and it's diving in from a communication standpoint. There are countless resources out there, and everyone can continue to improve. Getting feedback, listening to your own recordings. I mean, we were platinums when we got the feedback from Craig. He's like, I would love Mike and Kels to get to the point that people actually want to listen to them. Which kind of sucks to hear, but at the same time, we're like, thank God someone told us, right? Let's work to be somewhat interesting, have some dynamics in our communication. So then we started to study communication. Obviously, there's a lot of room to grow, but each and every one of you can continue to improve in that. The fourth piece, and sometimes the hardest missing piece, is your attitude. This was me, guilty as charged in terms of attitude. And, it's like many times, Michael and I have never stopped doing work. We've been consistently doing work for a long time. But the question is what do the conversations sound like behind closed doors? Or what do the conversations sound like up here? When you get that text that comes in from someone you're bringing through process, What is your expectation of that message when you open it up? Oh, I bet they love the podcast. Probably not. Right? Maybe your message, maybe the first thing that pops into your head is, great, it's going to be this text, right? I'm going to be scrolling for a while and hear all about why they were leaving the process. At some point, you got to shut it down. And you just have to accept the things that you've heard time and time and time again. Positive affirmations and speaking it like, speak what you want, right? Not what you don't want. And we just started to actually have to commit to all of the things we've learned within this community. And I very consciously had to shift my attitude. But one of the biggest things, some of you guys came into this room today and you've got a ton of momentum, and that is awesome. Some of you guys came crawling into this room and you're like, I know I'm going to get beat up this weekend with all the things that they're going to tell me to do. Wherever you're at, here's the deal. Forget about the past. You came in with the momentum. That's held Michael and I back before, because we're like, we're so cool and we're doing all these things and we've got all this growth. And eventually it all screeches to a halt because we focus on staying naive, staying hungry to learn. And then there's many times that you've come in as a tail between your legs and you feel like everyone's moving on except for you. Who cares? All you can control is your business and the work that you choose to put in this week and the leader that you choose to become, and actually accepting that there's probably some things that you need to change. We all do. All of the leadership, right? We're all still in that point that there's things to continue to improve. But one of the biggest things is just starting to have positive expectations about your business. Positive expectations about the new that you're working with. Positive expectations about how your game plan's going to go. Crushing the goals that you have. Just speak it until it actually happens, and it actually will.
So to Jerry's earlier point, can we all just stop the I'm doing a bunch of work and it's not working? There's 4 variables. Bring to your coach where your gaps are and work on it. And I promise anyone in this room can solve their problem by working on one of those 4 variables, and you'll fix it. And you'll get the growth, start to get the growth you need. Okay, we got 2 minutes to talk about this. How do you now transition that to creating results in your team? Couple things I want to point out. Again, oftentimes new 3.6s, 6.15s, here's what we saw, here's what we struggled with. You're going to have a pocket that you're working, that you're responsible to grow. And what you do, and they go, oh, I'm just struggling with customer stuff. And then you jump on the phone with them and you mindset them to death. Right? Oh, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. But what you really got to do is you go on a 20-minute mindset thing, and that leaves the phone. And then a week later, they have the same complaint. Why? Everything to do with your leadership and your ability to get on the phone. And when you hear something, yes, you relate to them, you empathize, but you say, here's what we are going to do. I need you to do this and this and this. We're going to meet here. I'm going to get my hands dirty and I'm going to help you do this. That's what creating results as a leader looks like in a pocket. You can't wait for people to make it happen. You need to go make it happen. Now, they may not make it happen at the end of the day. That's okay. That's up to them to make the move. But did you set them up in the right direction to make the move? That's a big gap that we see with people want to create results now in a pocket or in a team, that they're just giving people thoughts and mindset suggestions. Get in there and drive, my friends. That's how you create results. All right. We're so humbled every time we get to share and speak on the stage, because so much. I got 20 seconds to talk about this. We grew as entrepreneurs in rooms like this. I cannot state that enough. This is my favorite event of the year, because I know Rashmi and the Diamonds are going to kick my butt, and I'm going to go, man, there's things I know I need to do that I need to work on. And this is where Mike and Kels have grown leaps and bounds over the years. And if we can do it, you guys can absolutely put in the same work we did. So with that, I think we're apt. Back to the hosts.
For the calendar year 2024, the average income from Amway for all U.S. registered IBOs at the Founders Plan